over the years, there have been
have threatened the
several
franchise.
dozen that have really been remarkably either prescient about events that were taking place, in some cases actually doing stories about things that had not yet taken place but then happened. Um, there have been episodes that have really enraged people. The only one that I ever got death threats on was an IRA episode where um, they got very upset. It was a thing about IRA terrorism, and I did get a letter at my house saying, "Since you're reading this letter, you know that we know where you live," which was nothing ever happened. But you think it's a television show, guys. This is not really worth sending death threats about. But people do get very exercised. That somebody asked me. I mean, we have offended everybody. I mean, everybody on the planet. And somebody said, you do an awful lot of episodes with, sort of rich white guys killing mistresses or wives or something else. They said, why do you do so many shows with kind of upscale people? I said, because there are no rich white guy pressure groups. They call you up the next morning and demand retractions. It's been unbelievable. Everybody. And you do things that really outrage people because it goes against their level of expectation of what the show should be. That earlier this season, Michael Chernyshyn, who ran the show, is the showrunner again, but had run the show in the mid '90s, who is Jewish, who is a supporter of Israel and everything else, wrote this episode about gambling, where essentially a Jewish bookie had killed somebody, and then who was Middle Eastern, and his lawyer set this up as basically a conflict between Arabs and Jews, as opposed to a gambler who had somebody killed over gambling debts. And Sam's summation was, I think, the best summation that he's given in the last 5 years, but it went head on into an issue that most shows would have no interest in exploring, but especially going after what could be. And Abe Foxman, who's head of the ADL, sent me a letter that was basically we've known each other for years. He said, Dick, I have to write the letter. You shouldn't. But he at least had a somewhat generalized understanding of the fact that, yeah, we're going to upset people sometimes. But we got a letter from an Arab group screaming at us for the same episode because it's just, you cannot make anybody happy if you're going to deal with controversial subjects. But I do feel that we actually have a responsibility to do this stuff because nobody else, A, is doing it, or B, really has the forum to do it. And we have very intelligent writers who want to discuss this stuff, but nobody gets a free pass. You open this stuff up, everybody, it's kind of like the Justice Department, we're an equal opportunity offender.